Hello, my friends. Welcome to class number 7 of the Effortless Spanish mini course. So today I wanted to talk about how to reduce overwhelm, because let's face it, when you're learning a foreign language, you have to memorize thousands and thousands and thousands of words, and that can get very, very overwhelming if you use the traditional ways of learning a language. So today, I wanted to share with you how to reduce the stress that comes with that, and I also wanted to share with you an amazing technique called the 27 memory space station technique. I know it has a bit of a weird name. So what I want to do right now is that I want to read to you a fascinating story from my book, Memory Mysteries. Alrighty, so this is how the story goes. This man memorized the entire dictionary of French in 9 weeks. This is crazy. This is based on a true story. So let me read this to you very quickly. Nigel Richards memorized the French Scrabble dictionary in just 9 weeks and won the French language world tournament despite not knowing the language. How crazy is that? Nigel is often called the best Scrabble player of all time. So in an interview, they asked him, and I won't keep reading, I'll just tell you. In an interview, they asked him, how were you able to do this? Actually, let me read to you how many words we're talking about here that got him the championship. There's 386,000 words in the French dictionary. That's wild. So I love researching and learning from Nigel. It helped me create my memory program, and I love teaching people how to use this when it comes to learning Spanish. So let me show you exactly how he was able to do this. In an interview, he told people the way that I was able to memorize thousands and thousands of Spanish words was that I grabbed my bike, started paddling around the park, and I started imagining these pictures, these movies, these extraordinary stories. And as I moved my body, right? And as if you're part of my page, you probably know that I'm a big fan of exercising because whatever's good for the heart is good for the brain. So anyway, as he was bicycling, he's imagining all of these images, and that is how he's reviewing thousands of words. Now, I want to get into the details of how exactly is he storing all of these words into his brain. Okay, so let me talk to you exactly how he was able to do that. And by the way, as I'm teaching you how he did it, I thought I tried something very fun, and I thought that we memorize words together. So I thought, hey, let's try Japanese. I don't know how to speak Japanese. Hopefully you don't know how to speak Japanese either. So what I did is that I wrote down some words, very difficult to pronounce words, and I thought that we memorize it together so that you see my process, the way that I memorize all of these words and how I review all of these words just once, and I make sure that I don't forget it. Okay, so, and I want you to try it with me. Don't just sit and watch me. Genuinely, really try this with me. This is so cool. I want you to see just how amazing your brain really is, okay? So, I want to show you how to memorize these Japanese words. So, I thought we'd try how to count in Japanese. So, I have numbers 1 through 10 here. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're going to try to memorize that, and we're going to do it together. Like I said before, I don't know Japanese. We're going to learn in real time. My brother actually knows Japanese. He's from Puerto Rico too, and he used these memory techniques to learn. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing that you have to realize about learning in general, not just foreign languages, learning anything. The secret to memory is in your ability to construct pictures in your mind. The second secret to memory is having a space to store all of the information. Obviously, it's going to be in our brain, but how do we organize our brain to be able to learn thousands and thousands of Spanish words? Well, this is how we do it. You are going to use a place, a real physical place. Okay, so that could be a house, it could be an apartment, it could be a movie, it could be a restaurant, it could be anything you want. Okay, and what you are going to do is that you're going to write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, you're going to write it down. Okay, and you're going to divide it by using furniture. We're going to use pieces of furniture, and we're going to store the information in those pieces of furniture. So I want you to try this with me, okay? You don't have to construct a memory space now. Let's just use mine, okay? So we're going to use a little apartment that I used to live in. This is going to be so much fun. Please try this with me, okay? We're going to use an apartment that I used to live. And so I'm going to guide you through all these words, and you're going to see how easy it is to memorize them all. Okay, so let's get started. The first word is itchy. Itchy. So we need some type of association. So itchy, it sounds too easy for me. This is like, when you're itching, when you're scratching. So walk inside my house right now, okay? The first piece of furniture that I use is my refrigerator in that place that I used to live. So do this with me now because I'm going to test you. I'm going to see if you learn these with me, okay? So we open the fridge and a bunch of monsters are coming out, right? Little insects that like to bite us. So we're itching. Our whole body is itching. So that's the first word. That's the way that you say one in Japanese, okay? So say it out loud and scratch yourself with me. Itchy, itchy, okay? Do it with me. Doesn't matter how silly or ridiculous you look. Please just try it, okay? So you're itching, itching. That's number one in Japanese, okay? You got it? So we open the fridge. All these crazy things come out at us and it's itching. Okay, number two. What word do we have here? We got knee, okay? I don't know about you, but that sounds like knee in English. This is spelled N-I. So in English, K-N-E-E. Knee. It sounds like knee. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. So next to my fridge, okay, there's a stove. So, okay, I'm going to imagine that I open the stove, okay, and I hit my knee. Okay, so I'm itchy. I'm like, I'm running. And then I accidentally hit my knee. And I'm like, my knee is in pain. That's number two in Japanese. My knee. Okay, next. What do we have next? Sun. Okay. S-A-N. Sun. So that sounds like the sun and the moon. So my next piece of furniture, okay, is the microwave. Do this with me. I'm going to test you. Okay. So microwave. Okay, so I'm going to imagine I need an image with the sun and microwave. So how do I fuse it? So I'm going to imagine a tiny sun in the palm of my hand. Okay, here goes the sun. I'm gonna open the microwave and I'm gonna put the sun in there and close it. That's gonna warm up my food. A sun. That's number 3 in Japanese. Okay, I want to warn you. When you're starting to do this, it's tricky at the beginning because you're not used to learning things this way, okay? But to me, I've done this a billion times. I come up with these images lightning fast. In fact, I do this for a living and I perform mentalism shows doing these memory demonstrations. I do this lightning fast, but for the purpose of explanation, okay, we're taking our time, all right? So, memorize it with me. What did I just put in the microwave? A sun, like a miniature sun. We took it from the sky and now we have it here. It's a little tiny sun. It's in our microwave. That's 3 in Japanese. So we have ichi, ni, and then sun. Okay, beautiful. What's the next one? The next one is shi, S-H-I. Okay, that's another easy one. So it sounds like she as in he, she, right? He, she. Beautiful. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to imagine a woman in that kitchen as well. Okay, so my next piece of furniture is the dishwasher. Okay, so I have the fridge, I have the oven, I have the microwave, and then I had the dishwasher. So I imagine a woman in the dishwasher. Okay, that's it. That's the image. Okay, so you want to imagine her in a way that's memorable to you. Okay, so let's go with the next number. The next number is go. Oh, very cool. Very easy. Go. So what are we going to do? We're going to imagine this woman telling us, go, go. get out of the kitchen, get out of here. Okay, so she's shooing us away from the kitchen. And that's it. That's all we have for the kitchen. Okay, we don't want to put too many items in one room. I teach my students to just pick 5 pieces of furniture per room. So that's our first room, okay? I'm going to test you later. Please do this with me. Let's go with the next number. The next number is 6, and this is roku. When it comes to this word, what I like to do with the difficult words is we have to break them up. You have to break them up into many images, okay? So roku, there's nothing in English that sounds like that. That's fine. Break it up. The first part, ro, just ro, it sounds like row, okay? The words don't have to be exact. It has to be just approximate to remind you. So I imagine row, and the next thing, I gotta see the word again. Give me a second. Ku, Q-U. What I would do is I would imagine the word ku, cool, right? What do you think? Cool? Let's go with that. So row and cool, okay? Now, the next piece of furniture that I have in my apartment was this big cage of ferrets that I had. I had ferrets. And so I just imagined those little ferrets rowing a little tiny boat. And it's cool, right? It's ferrets rowing a boat. So please put that into your mind. Really, really do this with me. This is so fun. Okay, so we have ferrets and they're rowing and it's cool. Fantastic. That's number 6. Okay, and say it out loud. Roku, roku. Very good. Say it out loud, louder. Just forget about who's next to you. Just do it. Roku. Fantastic. We're rowing. What's the next word that we have here? We have sichi. Sichi. Okay. Difficult word again. Let's divide it. The first part, sea. That sounds like water, the ocean. Sea. And then the other part was chi. So that, I don't know. What can we use with chi? Cheese? Okay. Let's try cheese. Okay. Sea and cheese. So you imagine that those baby ferrets are rowing on a sea of cheese. Okay. So basically our living room, which is the next room that I have, is flooding with cheese, okay? So we have a sea of cheese. So roku, say it out loud, good. And then a sea of cheese for sichi, sichi. Say that out loud, good. Sichi, beautiful. Okay, what's the next word? The next word is hachi. I'm just gonna use cheese again, okay? I don't wanna complicate this too much. So hachi. So let's break the words again. Ha and chi. Hachi. First word, we can use hot as in, oh my God, that's very, very hot, right? Cold, hot. Okay, hot cheese. So now we imagine that not only are we swimming in this cheese, okay, with these ferrets, but we imagine that the cheese is hot, okay? It's hot. So say out loud, hot cheese. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Good. Hot cheese. So hachi, hachi. Say hachi, hachi. Very good. So number 6 was roku, okay, and then sichi, and then hachi. It gets easier as you practice along. I'm just giving a demonstration, okay? The next one is ku. Ku. That's number 9 in Japanese. Okay, so that sounds to me like queue. Like, you know, when you're waiting on a queue, right? When you're waiting in line, what's the queue? All right, so I guess we can imagine a story where there's actually many ferrets and they're waiting on a queue. Or maybe one poor little ferret fell down in the hot cheese, right? And so they're in a queue waiting to save their little brother. Okay, that's a good association. One more number. Jew, Jew, J-U-U. What association can we use for Jew? Well, let's go with a Jewish person, right? A religious person, a Jew. So my next piece of furniture is a television, okay? So always, every time I want to memorize everything, these are the pieces of furniture that I use. So I have a television in front of me. So what I'm going to do is that I imagine a Jewish person and they're coming out of the screen. Like imagine this is the screen and their hand is coming out and he's rescuing the little ferrets. And he goes back into the TV and they turn into cartoons. Okay, So there you have it. That's the story. So what's going to happen? The traditional way of learning this is to read this 100 times. Oh, itchy, knee, sun. Oh man, what was the other one? And then if you don't have the paper, forget about it. You're going to forget about it, right? But now that we have images, now that we have a movie in our head, we are not going to forget it. And I'm going to prove it to you, okay? This little piece of paper, guess what? We don't need it anymore, okay? It's all in our mind. Your mind is powerful. We have to use it. We have to train it. You can do extraordinary things with your mind. So let's do this. So I'm going to test you now. What happened when I opened the fridge in the first room? What happened, right? These insects came and I was what? Itchy. Good. You got the first number, right? With memory techniques. And then I hit my what? Exactly, knee. That's number 2. And then I took the what and put it in the microwave. Exactly, the sun. And then we saw what? A man or a woman? A woman, right? She. That's number 4. Okay, you're not going to forget that. If I ask you a week from now, this crazy, ridiculous, over-the-top story, if I ask you this information again, you will be very surprised how it will stay in your mind. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So the next one was that she told us to what? What does she want us to do? To go. That's number 5. Go. Beautiful. Let's go with number 6. What were the ferrets doing? They were what? Row, and they look very cool, right? So roku. Very good. And they were swimming in what? In a sea cheese, right? Sea cheese. Very good. And was the cheese hot or cold? Hot. So hot cheese. Very good. Hot cheese. And then they were waiting. What word did we use? Q. Right. And then in the television, who came out of the television? A Jew. Exactly. So all together, now I have the same ability that Nigel had. Now I can walk out there anywhere in the world and review exponentially more than someone who just has this information written or whatever. It's in my brain, it's in my mind. So I'm exercising, I'm walking, and what am I doing? I'm walking through the story. And I'm actually going to do this now genuinely for you. So I have, because again, I don't know Japanese. We're doing this together. This is how I memorize things, right? So we have ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku. Very good. And then we have sichi, hachi, ku, and ju. Beautiful. Fantastic. That is the way that this man was able to review thousands and thousands of Spanish words. Okay, so now I want to teach you something very cool. I want to teach you the 27 memory space station technique. That's a mouthful. I need to come up with a different name, right? But anyway, let me show you a really cool technique that's going to help you to reduce the overwhelm that comes with learning thousands of words. Remember, I told you that the first thing that you're going to need to be good with your memory is to create pictures and images, right? The second thing that I told you to do is that you need a space to store it. So what I came up with is this idea that we create 27 memory spaces, okay? I'll tell you why 27 in a second. And we assign an alphabetical letter to all of them. So why is that so cool? Imagine that I tell you, okay, the way that you say tree in Spanish is árbol, okay? So what you're going to do is that you're going to take the first letter of that word, the T, and guess what? You're going to put it in the memory space that starts with the letter T. Okay? And this, of course, you're not going to do this with every single Spanish word. That's crazy, okay? You're going to do this only with the words that you're struggling with, okay? I give my students this task of reviewing phrases every day to learn intuitively the language. We also use interactive stories. But sometimes there's some really annoying little things that they're not easy to intuitively pick up. So you take those words and you say, enough, I've had enough, I'm sick of forgetting this word, I'm going to put it into my memory space. And so what you do is that, okay, this word starts with the letter Z, I'm going to put it in the memory space with the letter Z. So you have this huge memory space with just the words with the letter Z, and you're able now to organize alphabetically, okay, beautifully organize all of these words, thousands of words. This is exactly what I suspect Nigel did when he won the Scrabble tournament. And then the number 27 is for all the Spanish rules that don't seem to stick into your brain. Oh my God, how did I express myself in the past tense in Spanish? Well, you create the image and you put it into that little memory space. Boom, there you have it. That's the 27 memory space station technique, and it works beautifully because you're able to review thousands of words at a time. So now you know the secrets, okay? Just as I promised at the beginning, I would teach you exactly how he did it, and this is how he did it. Now, I will tell you, okay, I've been doing this for years, okay? And there's a lot of mistakes that people make. This is why I actually wrote a book and made a program. There's 12 critical mistakes that people make when they're building these gigantic memory spaces. And so that's what I teach my students, okay, in the program or in my books, right? I teach them how to avoid the mistakes, and I teach them precisely what to do and what not to do when you're building these giant memory spaces. But when you do take the time to build the memory space, it will be the best decision that you've made in your life, because all of a sudden, okay, you will be able to use that for the rest of your life. Okay, you write it down. Okay, you take a piece of paper, you draw all your memory spaces, okay, and you are going to use that for the rest of my life. I've been using these since I was 17 years old. I use the same memory spaces for everything, not just languages, but everything. Information, if I want to study books, whatever it is, because your mind is extremely powerful and it has the capability of storing thousands and thousands of pieces of information as long as you give it the space to do so, as long as you organize your brain in this way. Because if you don't do this stuff, you're learning Spanish, guess what? Thousands of words are going to be thrown at you. What are you going to do? You're going to leave it to chance, right? Which is what everyone does. You're going to get frustrated. It's going to take you years and years and years to learn Spanish. That's the average, right? But if you do this, right? If you pause, if you take a moment, if you realize what learning a language is really about, it's about mastering your memory. When you realize that, when you realize it's not about the language, it's about you discovering yourself, right? Discovering how you think, how you learn things, okay? And when you train that brain, you're going to be able to do these extraordinary things like I said in this story, okay? So, if you want help from me showing you how to construct these memory spaces and all the mistakes to avoid, there's 12 of them, okay? Join my program. Join Effortless Spanish, or check out the Memory Mysteries program and join me. Not only am I going to show you how to build this thing and help you avoid all these crazy mistakes that people make, okay? But I'm going to walk you through the entire language of Spanish, okay? Alrighty, there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this class. And if you liked it, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think and join us in our program. Till next time, I'll talk to you soon.